The red warning lights flashed across the bridge of the human warship Valiant. Captain John Harrison stood at his command station, watching the displays with growing concern. Something wasn't right. The ship's systems had detected strange energy readings coming from the Galactic Council's territory. Lieutenant Susan Martinez rushed onto the bridge, holding a datapad. Her face was pale. "Captain, you need to see this," she said, handing him the device. John took the pad and read the intelligence report. His eyes widened as he scrolled through the information. The Galactic Council, humanity's trusted allies for 50 years, had been sharing Earth's military secrets with their enemies. They were giving away detailed information about Earth's defense systems, weapon technologies, and fleet positions. "How did we get this data?" John asked, still struggling to believe what he was reading. "Our deep space listening posts intercepted encrypted messages between council members," Susan explained. "It took our best code breakers 3 weeks to crack their encryption." Commander Ryan Cooper entered the bridge, his military boots clicking against the metal floor. He carried more reports and looked even more worried than Susan. "Captain, it gets worse. They're not just sharing information. They're actively plotting to destroy humanity." John felt his blood run cold. "Are you absolutely certain?" Ryan nodded grimly. "We have recordings, video feeds from hidden cameras in council chambers. They think we don't know about their secret meetings." The captain walked to the main display screen. "Show me," he ordered. Ryan input commands into the console. The screen lit up with a recording showing Counselor Crickstall, the leader of the Galactic Council, meeting with shadowy figures in a darkened room. They spoke in their native language, but the ship's translator converted their words to English. "The humans have grown too powerful," Crickstall was saying in the recording. "Their technology advances faster than any species we've ever encountered. In just 1 century, they've gone from primitive ground-based warfare to mastering faster than light travel." Another council member spoke up. "What do you propose?" "We must act now, before they become unstoppable," Crickstall replied. "I've been in contact with the Thravian Empire. They're willing to launch a full-scale invasion of human space. With the information we've provided about their defenses, victory is assured." John paused the recording. His hands clenched into fists. "How long have they been planning this?" "Based on what we've discovered, at least 2 years," Ryan answered. "They'd been very careful, but they made one critical mistake. They underestimated our intelligence capabilities." Susan stepped forward. "Sir, there's more. The Thravian fleet is already mobilizing. Our long-range scanners have detected massive ship movements near their border. They could reach Earth in less than a week." John turned to face his officers. "Contact Earth Command immediately. Priority Alpha transmission. They need to know what's coming." The communications officer nodded and began working at his station. John paced the bridge, thinking about their next move. Humanity had always tried to be peaceful members of the galactic community. They had shared technology, helped other species, and worked to maintain order and cooperation. But now, their supposed allies had betrayed them. The Council had taken humanity's trust and used it against them. They had turned friendship into a weapon. "Captain," the communications officer called out, "I have Admiral Mitchell on secure channel." John moved to the communications station. The face of Admiral Douglas Mitchell appeared on the screen, looking stern and focused. "Admiral, we have a situation," John began. He quickly explained what they had discovered about the Council's betrayal. The Admiral listened carefully, his expression growing darker with each revelation. When John finished, there was a moment of silence. "Captain Harrison," the Admiral finally spoke, "I'm authorizing immediate action. Recall all human ships to defensive positions, activate our hidden defense networks, and prepare for the possibility of war." "Yes, sir," John replied. "What about the Council? Do we confront them?" "Not yet," the Admiral said. "Let them think their plan is still secret. We'll use this time to prepare. But make no mistake, Captain, When the time comes, humanity will respond to this betrayal with everything we have." As the transmission ended, John turned to his crew. "You heard the Admiral. Battle stations. This ship and every human in space needs to be ready for what's coming." The bridge erupted into activity as officers rushed to their positions. The peaceful era of human-alien cooperation was over. The Galactic Council had chosen betrayal, and now they would face the consequences of underestimating humanity. Deep inside the Galactic Council headquarters, Councillor Crickstall sat in his private chamber, studying maps of human territory. His scaled skin glowed with satisfaction as he traced attack routes with his long fingers. He truly believed the humans would never discover his plan before it was too late. "The humans trust us completely," he told his assistant. "They share everything with us. Their technology, their strategies, their weaknesses. That will be their downfall." What Crickstall didn't know was that Ambassador Lisa Bennett had been watching him for months. She had noticed strange patterns in council behavior. Human proposals were always rejected without real consideration. Important meetings happened without human representatives. Something was very wrong. Lisa had started her own investigation 6 months ago. She placed tiny listening devices in council meeting rooms. She hired private investigators to follow suspicious council members. She even learned to hack their computer systems. Now, sitting in her office at the Human Embassy, Lisa reviewed the evidence she had collected. She had recordings of secret meetings, copied documents, and intercepted messages. The proof was undeniable. The Galactic Council was planning to destroy humanity. The most shocking recording came from last week. Crickstall had met with representatives from the Thravian Empire, a warrior race known for their brutality. Lisa played the recording again, listening carefully to every word. "We offer you all human military secrets," Crickstall was saying to the Thravian general. "Their shield frequencies, weapon specifications, fleet movements, everything you need to crush them." The Thravian general growled in response. "What do you want in return?" "Human territory divided between council members," Crickstall replied. "And most importantly, the elimination of the human threat forever." Lisa stopped the recording. She felt sick to her stomach. For 50 years, humans had worked alongside these aliens, considering them friends and allies. They had helped build the council into what it was today. And this was how they were repaid. She picked up her secure communicator and called Earth Command. "This is Ambassador Bennett. I need to speak with Admiral Mitchell immediately. Priority 1. While she waited for the connection, Lisa thought about how blind they had been. The council had always seemed friendly on the surface, but there had been signs. Small comments about human advancement being too fast. Questions about why humans needed such strong military forces during peacetime. Subtle attempts to limit human influence in galactic affairs. "Ambassador Bennett." Admiral Mitchell's voice came through the speaker. "What's the emergency?" "Admiral, I have proof that the Galactic Council is conspiring with the Thravian Empire to attack Earth. I'm sending you everything now." She transmitted all her evidence, recordings, documents, intercepted communications. As the Admiral reviewed the material, Lisa heard his breathing grow heavier with anger. "This is treason on a galactic scale," he said finally. "How certain are you about this information?" 100%, sir. They plan to attack within the week. They think we're completely unaware." Admiral Mitchell was quiet for a moment. "Ambassador, you've done exceptional work. This information will save countless human lives. I want you to continue acting normally. Don't let them suspect that we know." "Understood, Admiral. What's our response plan?" "We're activating Protocol Omega," he replied. "All hidden defense systems will come online. Our deep space fleets will move to intercept positions, and we'll prepare a little surprise for our council friends." Lisa nodded, even though the Admiral couldn't see her. "Should I evacuate the embassy?" "Not yet. We need you there as our eyes and ears. But be ready to leave at a moment's notice." After the call ended, Lisa sat back in her chair. She thought about Crickstall and his arrogance. He believed humans were weak because they preferred peace. He thought their kindness was a vulnerability. But Lisa knew better. Humans had survived countless wars on Earth. They had overcome impossible odds to reach the stars. And now, they would show the galaxy what happened when someone betrayed their trust. She pulled up the security feed from the council chambers. Crickstall was there, meeting with his co-conspirators. They laughed and celebrated their coming victory over humanity. "Enjoy your moment," Lisa whispered to the screen. "You have no idea what's coming." The council had made a fatal mistake. They had confused human patience with weakness. They had mistaken diplomacy for inability to fight. Soon, they would learn just how wrong they were. Admiral Douglas Mitchell stood at the head of a long table in Earth Command's secure bunker. Around him sat the most powerful military leaders humanity had ever assembled. Each face showed the same mix of anger and determination. The time for diplomacy had passed. General Karen Wilson activated the holographic display. A three-dimensional map of the galaxy appeared, showing human territories marked in blue and Thravian forces in red. The red dots were moving steadily toward Earth. "We have 48 hours before the Thravian fleet reaches our outer defense perimeter," she reported. "They're bringing over 300 warships, all equipped with technology the Council provided them. Our technology." The room fell silent. Everyone understood what this meant. The weapons designed to protect humanity would now be used against them. Dr. Eric Thompson, head of Earth's Department of Advanced Warfare, stood up. He was a small man with glasses, but his voice carried authority. "Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time we showed our true capabilities." He pressed a button on his control pad. The holographic map changed, revealing thousands of hidden human installations across the galaxy. Secret weapons platforms, stealth ships, and defensive systems that no one knew existed. "For the past 30 years, we've been sharing outdated technology with the Council," Eric explained. "Everything they've seen is at least 3 generations behind what we actually possess." Admiral Mitchell leaned forward. "You're saying we've been holding back?" "Exactly," Eric nodded. "We learned our lesson from Earth's history. Never show all your cards. The technology we gave the Council is like giving someone a bow and arrow when you have nuclear weapons." General Wilson smiled for the first time. "So when the Thravians attack with what they think are our best weapons, they'll be in for a very unpleasant surprise," Eric finished. The Admiral stood up and walked to the display. "What about the Council's betrayal? Do we strike first?" "No," said President Maria Santos, who had been listening quietly from her seat. "We're not like them. We'll give them one chance to stop this madness. One warning." She looked around the room. "Prepare our forces for battle, but hold position. I want a message sent to every corner of the galaxy. Let them know that humanity is aware of their betrayal, and let them understand the consequences if they proceed." The military leaders nodded in agreement. Orders went out across human space. Ships that appeared to be simple cargo vessels transformed into warships. Mining stations activated hidden weapon systems. Peaceful research outposts revealed themselves as military bases. In deep space, Captain Harrison received his orders aboard the Valiant. He gathered his crew in the ship's main hall. "I won't lie to you," he told them. "We're facing the biggest threat humanity has ever encountered. The Galactic Council, our supposed allies, has betrayed us. The Thravians are coming to destroy Earth." The crew listened in shocked silence. "But here's what they don't know," John continued, his voice growing stronger. "They don't know about our quantum shields. They don't know about our singularity weapons. They don't know that every human ship has capabilities far beyond what we've shown them." Lieutenant Martinez stepped forward. "Sir, are you saying we've been pretending to be weaker than we are?" "Exactly, Lieutenant. It's an old human strategy. Appear weak when you are strong. The Council thinks they know everything about us. They're about to learn how wrong they are." Back on Earth, preparations continued at a frantic pace. Civilians were moved to underground shelters. Defense satellites came online. The planetary shield, a technology the Council didn't even know existed, began to power up. Dr. Thompson watched the preparations from his laboratory. He turned to his assistant. "You know what the Council's biggest mistake was?" "What's that, sir?" "They forgot that humans didn't become the dominant species on Earth by being nice. We survived ice ages, plagues, and world wars. We adapted, we learned, and we overcame. And now they think they can destroy us with our own outdated technology." He looked at the screen showing Earth's true defensive capabilities coming online. "They're about to learn why you never, ever betray humanity." Every screen, every communication device, and every broadcast system across the galaxy suddenly went dark. For a moment, there was silence. Then, the image of President Maria Santos appeared, standing in front of the United Earth flag. Her face was calm, but her eyes held steel. When she spoke, her voice reached every corner of known space. To the members of the Galactic Council and their Thravian allies, she began, "This is President Maria Santos of Earth. We know about your betrayal. We know about your plans to destroy humanity." On the Council homeworld, Crixtall nearly fell from his chair. Around him, other Council members looked at each other in shock. This wasn't possible. How could the humans know? The President continued, "For 50 years, we have been your allies. We share our knowledge, our resources, and our friendship. We helped build the Galactic Council into what it is today. And this is how you repay us." Lieutenant Alex Wright monitored the broadcast from Earth's main communication center. His team had worked for hours to ensure this message would reach everyone. They had taken control of every transmission system in the galaxy. "Sir, we're getting massive viewer numbers," a technician reported. "Every inhabited planet is watching." Alex nodded. "Good. Make sure nothing interrupts this transmission." Back on the screen, President Santos held up a datapad. "We have recordings of your secret meetings. We have copies of your plans. We know about the technology you stole and gave to the Thravians. Every act of betrayal has been documented." In the Thravian fleet, commanders watched the broadcast with growing unease. Their ships were already in human space, moving toward Earth. They had been promised an easy victory against unprepared humans. The President's voice grew harder. "This is your only warning. You have 24 hours to withdraw all hostile forces from human space. Return the technology you stole. Cancel your attack plans. If you do not comply, you will face the full might of humanity." She paused, letting her words sink in. "Do not mistake our desire for peace as weakness. Do not think that because we chose diplomacy, we cannot wage war. You have threatened our survival. There will be no second warning." On the Valiant, Captain Harrison watched the broadcast with his crew. They stood in silence, feeling the weight of this historic moment. To the citizens of the galaxy who are not part of this betrayal, the President continued, "We advise you to evacuate Council and Thravian space immediately. What happens next is not our choice, it is theirs." The broadcast ended with a simple countdown timer, 24:00, and it began ticking down. Panic erupted in the Council chambers. Members shouted at each other, pointing fingers, trying to deny their involvement. "This is impossible," Crixtall roared. "How did they discover our plans?" Ambassador Lisa Bennett chose that moment to enter the chamber. She walked calmly to the center of the room, holding a small device. "You thought humans were naive," she said, her voice cutting through the chaos. "You thought we trusted you blindly. But we've been watching you for months." She pressed a button on her device. Suddenly, hidden recording devices throughout the chamber became visible. Tiny cameras and microphones that had captured every secret meeting. "Your arrogance was your downfall," Lisa continued. "You never considered that we might be smarter than you thought." Meanwhile, the Thravian fleet commander contacted his high command. "Should we proceed with the attack?" There was a long pause before the reply came. "Continue as planned. The humans are bluffing. They cannot stand against our combined forces." Back on Earth, Admiral Mitchell watched the countdown timer. He turned to General Wilson. "They're not going to back down, are they?" "No, sir," she replied. "Their pride won't let them." Dr. Thompson entered the command center. "All systems are ready, Admiral. Our hidden fleets are in position. Defensive platforms are powered up. We can activate everything with a single command." The Admiral nodded slowly. "Then we wait. We gave them a chance for peace. Whatever happens next is on them." Around the galaxy, beings watched the countdown timer with fear and anticipation. The next 24 hours would determine the fate of countless worlds. Humanity had issued its warning. Now, the universe held its breath. The countdown timer showed 12 hours remaining. In the Galactic Council chambers, Krickstall had called an emergency meeting. His scales had turned a deeper shade of purple, showing his anger and frustration. "They dare to threaten us," he shouted at the gathered council members. "The humans are bluffing. They don't have the power to challenge our combined forces." Council member Zorix, a tall being with multiple eyes, stood up nervously. "But what if they're not bluffing? What if they really do have hidden capabilities?" Krickstall laughed, a harsh sound that echoed through the chamber. "Impossible. We've monitored their technological development for decades. We know everything about their military strength." He pulled up a holographic display showing human fleet positions. "Look at this. Their ships are scattered across their territory. They can't possibly gather enough forces to stop the Thravian Armada." Another council member spoke up. "But what about Ambassador Bennett's revelation? They'd been spying on us. Maybe they've been hiding things from us too." "Enough." Krickstall slammed his clawed hand on the table. "I've already spoken with the Thravian High Command. The attack proceeds as planned. The humans will learn the price of defying the Galactic Council." Far from the council chambers, Commander Angela Davis sat in the cockpit of her stealth ship, the Shadow Hunter. Her vessel was one of humanity's best-kept secrets, invisible to all known scanning technology. "Commander, I'm counting over 300 Thravian ships," her tactical officer reported. "They're maintaining formation just outside our border." Angela nodded. "What about their support vessels?" "Another 100 ships providing logistics and repairs. They're not even trying to hide." She smiled grimly. "Their arrogance will be their downfall. Maintain position and wait for the signal." The Shadow Hunter was part of a network of 500 stealth ships positioned throughout human space. Each one carried weapons that could tear through conventional shields like paper. Back in the council chambers, Krickstall was receiving reports from his spy network. "The humans are evacuating their border colonies," an agent reported. "They're pulling back their visible fleet." "You see," Krickstall turned to the other council members. "They're retreating. They know they can't win this fight." Council member Tira, who had remained silent until now, finally spoke. "Or they're drawing us into a trap. Remember Earth's military history. They've used this tactic before." Krickstall waved his hand dismissively. "Ancient history from a primitive world. This is space warfare. The Thravians have the most advanced fleet in the galaxy, enhanced with the technology we provided." On Earth, Admiral Mitchell watched the tactical display. The Thravian fleet was exactly where they wanted them, clustered together, overconfident, and completely unaware of what awaited them. "Sir, the Council has rejected our warning," an aide reported. "They're proceeding with the attack." The Admiral sighed. "We gave them every chance." "General Wilson, are all systems ready?" "Yes, sir. Project Nemesis is online. The quantum disruptors are charged. Our fleet is in position." Dr. Thompson approached with a tablet. "Admiral, I should warn you about the collateral damage. When we activate the quantum field, it will disable every ship in the target area, permanently." "I understand, Doctor, but they've left us no choice." In space, the Thravian fleet commander grew impatient. "Why wait for the countdown to end? Begin the attack now." His officers hesitated. "But sir, what about the human warning?" "They're stalling for time. All ships, advance on Earth. Full speed." The massive fleet surged forward, crossing the invisible line into human space. Alarms immediately sounded on every ship. On the Shadowhunter, Angela watched her display light up. They've crossed the border. All stealth ships, weapons hot. Prepare to engage on my mark. She pressed a button on her command console. Her ship's cloaking field dropped, revealing the deadly vessel to the shocked Thravians. All around them, hundreds of human ships appeared from nowhere. The Thravian commander stared at his screen in disbelief. Where did they come from? Our scanners showed empty space. But it was too late for questions. The trap had been sprung. The Council's arrogance had led them exactly where humanity wanted them. Vulnerable and exposed, about to face technology they never knew existed. The moment the first Thravian ship crossed into human space, everything changed. The empty void suddenly filled with thousands of defensive platforms that appeared from nowhere. Space itself seemed to ripple as humanity's true power was finally revealed. Captain William Taylor stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Thunderstrike. "All units, weapons free," he commanded, his voice calm but firm. "Show them why you don't betray humanity." Across the battlefield, human ships engaged their quantum drives. These weren't the simple faster-than-light engines the Council knew about. These drives could bend space itself, allowing ships to appear and disappear at will. Professor Kevin Scott watched from his control room on Earth as he activated the quantum disruption field. This was humanity's greatest secret weapon, developed over decades in hidden laboratories. Field activation in 3, 2, 1. He pressed the final button. A wave of invisible energy swept across space. Every Thravian ship suddenly lost power. Their weapons went dark. Their engines died. Their shields collapsed. The Thravian commander pounded his useless control panel. "What's happening? Why aren't our systems responding?" His science officer looked terrified. "Sir, it's like our technology has been switched off. Nothing is working." "That's impossible," the commander shouted. "These systems are foolproof." On the Shadowhunter, Commander Angela Davis smiled. "Not so foolproof after all. All ships, begin Phase 2. Human vessels moved in perfect coordination. They didn't need to fire their main weapons. Instead, they used targeted electromagnetic pulses to permanently disable the Thravian ship's control systems. The Thravian fleet, once proud and threatening, now drifted helplessly in space. 300 warships reduced to floating metal in less than an hour. Back on Earth, Admiral Mitchell received continuous updates. "Sir, the Thravian fleet is completely neutralized. 0 human casualties." General Wilson added, "Our forces are securing the disabled ships. We're taking prisoners, not lives." The Admiral nodded with satisfaction. "Good. We're not monsters. We're just protecting our home." In the Galactic Council chambers, panic had replaced arrogance. Krikstal stared at the tactical display in disbelief. The mighty Thravian armada, which was supposed to crush humanity, had been defeated without firing a single shot. "This can't be happening," he whispered. "We gave them our best technology. How did the humans counter it so easily?" Council member Tira spoke up. "Because it wasn't their best technology, Krikstal. They've been playing us for fools all along." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the Council building. Security screens showed human Special Forces ships approaching the capital. Captain Taylor's voice came through their communication system. "Attention, Galactic Council. Your fleet has been neutralized. Surrender now, and no harm will come to you." Krikstal tried to activate the building's defense systems, but nothing responded. The humans had somehow disabled everything. On Mars, Dr. Thompson explained to a group of military officers, "We've known about the Council's true feelings toward humanity for years. Every piece of technology we shared had hidden backdoors. When they gave it to the Thravians, they gave us control over their entire fleet." One officer asked, "Why didn't we act sooner?" "We needed proof of their betrayal," Thompson replied. "And we needed to show the galaxy that humans are not aggressors. We defend ourselves, but we don't attack first." In orbit around the Council's homeworld, Ambassador Lisa Bennett prepared to land with the human diplomatic team. Remember, she told her staff, we're here to establish new terms, not to conquer. Show them that human justice is fair but firm. The fall of the Thravian fleet sent shockwaves across the galaxy. Civilizations that had dismissed humans as newcomers now watched in awe as Earth's true capabilities were revealed. On every human ship and base, the same sentiment echoed. They had tried peace, they had offered friendship, but when betrayed, they had shown why humanity had survived every challenge in their history. As Captain Taylor prepared to escort the council leaders to their trial, he reflected on the day's events. They thought our kindness was weakness. They forgot that we evolved on a death world. We didn't reach the stars by being helpless. The age of human restraint was over. The galaxy would now know exactly what humanity was capable of when threatened. Ambassador Lisa Bennett walked through the grand entrance of the Galactic Council chambers. Her footsteps echoed in the suddenly quiet hall. Beside her, Special Operations Commander Laura Brooks led a team of Earth's elite soldiers. The council members sat frozen in their seats, watching as humans took control of their headquarters. Crickstall remained at the head of the table, his scaled skin now pale with fear. Councillor Crickstall, Lisa said, her voice steady and cold. By the authority of United Earth, you are under arrest for conspiracy against humanity. She placed a stack of documents on the table. These are your surrender terms. Sign them, and your species will be treated fairly under our laws. Crickstall tried to stand but found his legs wouldn't support him. You can't do this. We are the Galactic Council. We govern all civilized species. Commander Brooks stepped forward. Not anymore. Your authority ended the moment you plotted genocide against humanity. One by one, the council members were escorted from their seats. Some went quietly, understanding their defeat. Others protested, but their words meant nothing now. As security teams secured the building, they found more evidence of the council's betrayal. Secret communication rooms, hidden weapon caches, and detailed plans for dividing Earth's resources among council species. Look at this, Lieutenant Danny Chen called out, pointing to a wall display. They even planned which council member would get which human colony. Lisa studied the map with disgust. They were dividing us up like prizes before the battle even started. In the main chamber, Crickstall made one last attempt to escape. He activated a hidden panel in his chair, revealing a secret passage. But as he tried to run, he found Commander Brooks blocking his path. Going somewhere? She asked with a slight smile. How did you know about the passage? Crickstall demanded. Brooks held up a small device. We've had this building mapped for months. Every secret room, every hidden exit. You really thought you were the only ones with spies. As Crickstall was led away in restraints, he turned to Lisa. How did you do it? Your species was barely space-capable a century ago. How did you surpass us so quickly? Lisa looked at him with pity. That's the difference between us. You saw our rapid progress and felt threatened. We saw challenges and found ways to overcome them. You tried to destroy us out of fear. We could have destroyed you but chose justice instead. Throughout the council building, human forces systematically took control. They disabled weapons systems, secured sensitive data, and established communication with Earth Command. Admiral Mitchell, Brooks reported via secure channel. The council chambers are secure. All primary conspirators are in custody. Excellent work, Commander. What about the other council members? Some were clearly involved in the plot. Others seem to have been kept in the dark. We're sorting them now. Meanwhile, news of the council's fall spread across the galaxy. On countless worlds, beings watched in amazement as humanity dismantled the organization that had ruled space for millennia. In the council's central database, human technicians found records of other plots against Earth. Plans to limit human expansion, to sabotage their economy, to create conflicts between Earth and its allies. They'd been working against us from the beginning, one technician said in disbelief. Lisa nodded grimly. They saw our potential and feared it. Instead of welcoming us as equals, They tried to keep us down. As night fell on the Council world, human ships patrolled the skies. The building that had once been the center of galactic power now flew the United Earth flag. In a secure holding cell, Crystal sat alone with his thoughts. Through the energy field, he could see human guards standing watch. They didn't mock him or show cruelty. They simply did their duty with professional calm. That somehow made it worse. He had expected vengeful humans seeking blood. Instead, he faced something far more terrifying, a species that could defeat its enemies completely and still show restraint. The Galactic Council had fallen, not through massive battles or orbital bombardments, but through humanity's careful planning and technological superiority. The age of Council rule was over. A new era had begun. 6 months had passed since the fall of the old Galactic Council. Today, representatives from every civilized species in the galaxy gathered in the rebuilt council chambers. But this time, things were very different. President Maria Santos stood at the podium, addressing the assembly. Behind her hung flags from all member worlds, with Earth's flag prominently displayed alongside them. "We gather here today, not as conquerors," she began, "but as equals building a better future." The old council ruled through secrecy and fear. The new council will operate with transparency and mutual respect. In the audience, former council members who had not participated in the betrayal sat among the representatives. They had been investigated, cleared, and invited to help build something better. "Let this be a lesson to all," President Santos continued. "Humanity extends friendship to those who offer it genuinely. But betray us, and you will learn why our species survived every challenge to reach the stars." Captain John Harrison stood at attention in his dress uniform as the assembly voted on the new Human Protection Accord. This document guaranteed that no species would ever again plot against another member of the galactic community. The vote was unanimous. Every representative understood the consequences of betrayal now. In a separate chamber, the trials of the conspirators were concluding. Crystal and his fellow plotters faced justice under the new galactic laws. They were not executed. Humanity had insisted on fair trials and appropriate punishments. "You will spend the remainder of your lives working to repair the damage you've caused," the judge announced. "Your labor will help rebuild the worlds affected by your schemes." Ambassador Lisa Bennett watched the proceedings with satisfaction. She had been appointed as Earth's permanent representative to the new council. Her experience in uncovering the conspiracy made her uniquely qualified for the role. After the ceremony, she met with representatives from various species. Many expressed amazement at humanity's restraint. "We expected vengeance," one alien diplomat admitted. "Instead, you've shown us a better way forward." Lisa smiled. "That's what makes us human. We believe in second chances, but only one." High above the planet, the Valiant patrolled the border between human and council space. Captain Harrison looked out at the stars, reflecting on how much had changed. "Sir," Lieutenant Martinez reported, "all sectors report normal. No signs of hostile activity." "Good," John replied. "Let's keep it that way." The galaxy had learned its lesson. Human ships now openly displayed their advanced capabilities. The stealth fleets remained hidden, but everyone knew they were there, watching and protecting. Dr. Thompson continued his work in the Advanced Warfare Department. But now, his team focused on defensive technologies that could be shared with allied species. "We're stronger together," he explained to his staff. "But we'll never again share everything. Trust must be earned." In the rebuilt council chambers, a new exhibit had been installed. It told the story of the Great Betrayal and humanity's response. School groups from across the galaxy visited to learn this important lesson. Why didn't the humans destroy the council completely? A young alien student asked her teacher. "Because they understood something important," the teacher replied. "True strength isn't about destruction. It's about knowing when to show mercy." Commander Angela Davis had been promoted to Fleet Admiral. She now commanded all human forces in council space. Her orders were clear: protect the peace, but remain vigilant. We gave them a second chance, she told her officers. We won't give them a third. As the sun set on the Council world, President Santos signed the final document establishing the new galactic order. Around her, representatives from dozens of species applauded. The message was clear across the galaxy. Humanity had arrived not just as members of the cosmic community, but as its protectors against treachery and tyranny. They had shown that they possessed both the power to destroy and the wisdom to rebuild. The great betrayal had ended. A new era of cooperation had begun. And at its heart stood humanity, no longer the newcomers to space, but its guardians. They had proven that sometimes the youngest species could teach the oldest civilizations the most important lessons about honor, justice, and the true meaning of strength.